Breathe in, now hold it. Feel that pressure in your chest, that slight burn. That's not just lack of oxygen. That is the physical manifestation of everything you haven't said. Everything you haven't built, every dream you've caged behind your teeth because you were too busy explaining it to people who could never understand the blueprint. I'm not here to talk about goals. I'm here to talk about fire. A fire so violent, so personal, so all-consuming that to speak it aloud is to risk someone, your mom, your friend, your coworker, your own doubt, coming along with a bucket of their well-intentioned lukewarm reality and drowning it before it can even catch. I want you to visualize something with me right now. Close your eyes if you need to. See a blacksmith, not the romanticized version. See the real one, soot-stained, sinewy, standing before the forge. The air shimmers with heat. In his hands is a raw, ugly, worthless lump of iron. He doesn't turn to the crowd and announce, "Hey everyone, watch me. I'm about to make a sword." He doesn't post a poll, "Which design should I choose?" He doesn't explain his process to the villagers who came to buy horseshoes. No, he turns his back to the world. He thrusts that raw material into the absolute hottest part of the fire. He lets the flames lick it, change its very structure, make it pliable. Then, and only then, does he bring it to the anvil. And he begins to beat it, not with gentle taps, with deafening, skull-rattling, spark-showering blows. Each strike is a secret. Each strike is a silent prayer. Each strike transforms the metal in a way words never, ever could. You are the blacksmith. Your dream, your vision, your life's work, that is the raw metal. The forge is your solitude. The anvil is your daily discipline. The hammer is your focused action. And the crowd, the opinions, the expectations, the how's it going, the when will you be done, the are you sure, that is the noise you must turn your back on. A special life requires special things. It doesn't require a special talent, it requires a special kind of silence, a sacred, militant, protective silence. Because your vision in its infant stage is the most vulnerable thing in the universe. It cannot survive the oxygen of premature explanation. So I am here today to issue one command, a command that will feel counterintuitive, lonely, and absolutely revolutionary. This isn't about secrecy. This is about sanctity. This is about letting the work speak so loudly that by the time people hear it, it's already a thunderclap they cannot argue with. Your life is not a press conference. It is a private, sacred workshop. Now let's build. The first time you shut your mouth and commit to working in silence, the universe will test you. It will send adversity not to break you, but to see if you're serious about this new, silent pact. This adversity is not your enemy, it is the forge. Let me tell you about my first real silence. I had a vision, a company, a system. I was buzzing with it. My old pattern was to run to my inner circle, lay out the grand plan, and bask in the wow. That's amazing. It was a dopamine hit that fooled my brain into feeling like I'd already accomplished something. I'd leave the conversation feeling full and then do nothing, so I stopped. I committed. I will not speak of this until it is real. Within a week, it felt like the world turned against me. A deal fell through, a partner flaked. My own mind, deprived of the cheap validation of talking, turned on me with a symphony of doubt. See, you're a fraud. This is why you should just tell people so they can talk you out of this delusion. That was the fire. That loneliness, that uncertainty, that crushing pressure, that was me being thrust into the forge. And in that heat, something changed. With no one to perform for, no one to convince, no one to complain to, I had only two choices, quit or work. So I worked. I sat with the problem. I bled on the page. I iterated in the dark. And that adversity, that silence did not break me. It burned away the need for approval. It forged a new, tougher metal in me, resolve. Your doubt, your failure, your lonely 3 a.m. moment staring at a screen that feels like it's mocking you, that is not a sign to start talking. That is the sign you are in the forge. This is where diamonds are made. Pressure, heat, time, silence. Stop treating adversity as a distraction and start recognizing it as the only environment where true transformation can occur. While others run from the heat to the comfort of a sympathetic ear, you must learn to stand in the flames and let them reforge you. How bad do you want it? Bad enough to be misunderstood? Bad enough to be lonely? Bad enough to let the struggle sculpt you in private without an audience to applaud the effort? The diamond doesn't form in the jewelry store window. It forms in the crushing, dark, silent depths of the earth. Your character forms the same way. To build in silence, you must sacrifice the addiction to noise. This is the anvil. The hard, unyielding surface upon which you will hammer out your destiny. It will shock you what you must let go of. You've got to understand your future is expensive. Here's the currency it demands: one, the sacrifice of immediate validation. This is the hardest one. You must kill the craving for the likes, the head nods, the "you're so inspiring." Why is it hard? Because we are wired for social approval. It feels like starvation. What replaces it? The deep, unshakable validation that comes only from looking at a finished piece of work, a built thing, a bank statement, a transformed body, something real that you did alone. 2. The sacrifice of community in the early stages. You must distance yourself from the dream-sharing circles, the perpetual planners, the energy vampires who want to dissect your idea over coffee for 2 hours instead of building for 2 hours. Why is it hard? It feels like disloyalty, like being cold. What replaces it? The true, earned camaraderie you will find after your success, with other people who have also walked through the fire and speak the language of results, not just ideas. 3. The sacrifice of your old identity, the you that was known as the guy with the big ideas or the girl who's always starting something. That person must die. Why is it hard? Because your social ecosystem is built around that identity. Letting it go feels like psychological suicide. What replaces it? The identity of the builder, the finisher, the quiet force. An identity based on proof, not promise, for the sacrifice of perfect conditions. Waiting for the right time to start, which is always just a code for after I've told enough people to feel accountable. No, the right time is the moment you decide to work, not talk. Why is it hard? It's terrifying to start with no safety net of social expectation. What replaces it? The fierce, agile power of pivoting in private, of failing in private, of learning faster than anyone watching you could ever imagine. 5. The sacrifice of sympathy. When you stumble in silence, no one brings you casseroles. No one knows to send you a motivational quote. You will cry alone. You will rage alone. You will want to quit alone. Why is it hard? Because pain shared is pain divided, but it also dilutes ownership. What replaces it? An unholy, unbreakable strength. The knowledge that you consoled yourself, you picked yourself up, you motivated yourself. That is a power no one can ever give you and no one can ever take away. Stop seeking permission and start embracing the sacrifice. It's hard to let go of the applause, but it's harder to live with the ghost of the masterpiece you described but never built. Choose your hard. Today's pain is tomorrow's currency. Every hour you spend working instead of explaining is a deposit into the bank account of your future self. Every "I can't make it, I'm working" said to a friend while it stings now is a $1,000 investment. Every time you bite your tongue instead of boasting about a small win, you compound the interest on the final, massive win. I need you to have a conversation, right now, in your mind. I want you to picture your future self. 5 years from now, 10, they are standing in a life you can currently only dream of. The serenity, the success, the impact, the freedom. Look at their eyes. They are calm, they are powerful. Now hear them speak to you, your present self, huddled over your phone, tempted to post a hustle selfie or drafting a long text to explain your process. Your future self says, "Thank you. Thank you for not telling them what you were doing. Thank you for protecting our focus. Thank you for letting them underestimate us. Thank you for storing every ounce of energy, every idea, every drop of passion and funneling it directly into the work. Because you did that, I now stand here, unshakable. The work speaks for me. It roars and I owe it all to your silence. Feel that? That is the transaction. The pain of missed parties, awkward explanations, and lonely nights is the price. The asset you are buying is a future where your reality is so potent, it renders all prior explanation obsolete. Stop spending your capital, focus, energy, ideas on social chit-chat and start investing it in the private construction site of your legacy. The easiest thing I ever did was build $1 million business. The hardest thing was believing I could do it without telling a single person I was going to do it. discipline is not a grand gesture. It is the thousand silent, unseen repetitions. It is the hammer in your hand. And in the doctrine of never tell people what you do, discipline has a new name: stealth execution. Your daily system must become a sacred, silent ritual. I wake up at 5 a.m. every morning not to post about it, but to work in the pure, undistracted silence of a world that is still asleep. That is my advantage. While others are announcing their day, I am building mine. My routine is not content, it is confidential. Your mantra must become: study your work, critique your work. Reflect on your work, not post about it, not tweet about the struggle. Study it. What can be better? Critique it. Where did you get emotional, lazy, sloppy? Reflect on it. What did the silence teach you today that chatter would have drowned out? Rise and grind? No, rise and build. The grind is for show. The build is for keeps. The grind complains. The build creates. The grind seeks witnesses. The build needs only a creator. Create your system, the silent hour. The first 60-90 minutes of your day are for deep, silent work on your vision. Phone off, world out. The stealth tally: keep a private log, not a public journal, of daily progress. 500 words written, 50 sales calls, 1 new skill learned just for you. The feedback black box: when you need feedback, you go to a paid coach, a proven mentor, or a brutally analytical tool, not a friend who will sugarcoat it to protect your feelings. The do not explain policy: when asked what you're up to, have a simple, true, and deflection-ready answer. I'm in building mode, just working on some projects. Staying busy, thanks, then change the subject. Stop comparing your silent, foundational work to someone else's loud, decorative showcase. You are pouring the foundation of a skyscraper in the dead of night. They are hanging festive lights on a lemonade stand. Have the discipline to trust the depth of your work. Legacy is not what you say, it is what remains long after you've stopped talking. A legacy built in silence is made of granite, not gossamer. It is a monument that doesn't need a plaque because its presence is the statement. This is about playing a game so long, so quiet, that when you finally arrive, it seems like you came out of nowhere. It's about letting your work accumulate in the shadows until its shadow is larger than the things everyone else is standing in the spotlight shouting about. Think of the most formidable people you know, the ones with real power, real respect. How much do they actually talk about what they're doing? Very little. They are too busy doing it. Their energy is reserved for creation, not conversation. Their language is one of results. Here is what we built. Here is what we solved. Here is what we shipped. Your relentless effort, focused in silence, compounds into a legacy of substance. It becomes a gravitational pull. Opportunities, people, resources are drawn to the silent mass of your accomplishment. You stop being a salesman of your potential and become a curator of your reality. Stop wanting to be known as a thought leader and start insisting on being a result leader. Thoughts are debated, results are worshipped. Let them debate the noise while you quietly assemble an army of results so formidable that it conquers by sheer presence alone. I need you to take these steps, not tomorrow, today. The moment you leave here, 1. The 30-day Secrecy Fast. What? For the next 30 days, you will not discuss your primary goal, dream, or project with anyone unless they are a direct, paid, or essential part of its execution. No venting, no brainstorming, no guess what I'm thinking of doing with friends, family. Why? To break the addiction to external validation and force all creative and motivational energy inward. To experience the forge, future self connection, this fast is you handing your future self a blank check of focus. They will cash it in compound interest. Fear resistance, I'll lose support. I'll feel isolated, good, that fake support was a crutch. The isolation is where you grow your own spine. Timeline, 30 days, start a countdown on your private calendar. 2. Create a stealth mode dashboard. What? A private document, Notion, Google Doc, physical notebook that tracks only leading indicators, not lagging ones. Not money made, but skills learned. Not followers gained, but pieces of content created. Not deals closed, but outreach emails sent. Why? It keeps you focused on the input. The work within your control, not the output the world sees. It is your private command center, future self-connection. This dashboard becomes the logbook of your silent voyage. One day you'll show it to someone and it will be a museum piece of your determination. Fear resistance. It's not as exciting as tracking public wins. Exciting is fleeting. Effective is eternal. Frequency. Update it daily every night without fail. 3. Practice the deflect and redirect response. What? Script and memorize 3 responses for when people ask what you're working on. Oh, just deepen a few projects, staying out of trouble, mostly just trying to learn and grow this year. I'm in a phase of focused execution. It's pretty consuming but good. Why? It politely protects your sanctity while maintaining social grace. It turns a potential energy drain into a neutral exchange. Future self-connection. Every time you do this successfully, you are building the muscle of boundary setting that your future self will use to guard their peace and time. Fear resistance. It feels sneaky. It's not sneaky, it's strategic. You are not obligated to serve your dreams as appetizers for public consumption. Timeline. Practice immediately. Next conversation you have. So we come back to the beginning, the blacksmith, the forge, the anvil, the hammer, the silent, spark-flying work. Look at your hands right now. Those are not just hands. They are the instruments of your silent revolution. They will type the code, draft the proposal, make the call, build the product, write the book, lift the weight, create the art. They do not need to be waving in the air, explaining the motion. Their power is in their movement, not their gesture. The world is a noisy, crowded marketplace of opinions, forecasts, and critiques. Your power lies in your exit from that marketplace. Your power lies in the private workshop you build in the back, away from the street, where the only sounds are the roar of your forge and the ringing of your hammer on the anvil of your ambition. I need you to make a final choice, not later. Now you can walk out of here and share the amazing speech you heard. You can talk about the powerful concept of working in silence. You can become a parrot of the philosophy, or you can become the embodiment of it. You can shut your mouth, square your shoulders, turn your back to the crowd, and walk straight into your forge. Let the fire of your unspoken desire heat you to a temperature that would scare anyone looking in from the outside. Take the raw material of your life and place it on the anvil of your sacrifice. And pick up the hammer of your discipline, and then swing, not for the applause, not for the flinch of an audience. Swing for the transformation of the metal. Swing for the purity of the effort. Swing for the future self who is watching you right now, tears in their eyes, whispering, "This is the moment. This is where you become who I am." Your legacy is waiting. But it is not waiting for your announcement. It is waiting for your first, silent, decisive blow. Stop asking for a witness and become the proof. Stop seeking a fan club and become the phenomenon. Stop drafting the press release and build the damn thing. The path is clear. It is hard, it is lonely, and it is the only one that leads to a life that is truly, irrevocably, unquestionably yours. When you succeed, know because you succeed in this way, your arrival will not be a notification. It will be an earthquake. And when they turn to you, stunned, and ask, "How? When did you do all this?" you will smile a quiet, knowing smile. And you will give them the only answer that matters, the answer that is the final reward for every silent hour, every sacrificed distraction, every private victory. I just got to work. Now. The spotlight is off, the stage is empty, the crowd is gone, your workshop is open. Go build in silence, and let the roar of your results shake the world.